It's time for Around the Ozarks Sports Scene, sponsored by Fast Break Sports and The Pitch. Here's your host, Scott Purrier.
Welcome in to another edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. I am Scott Purrier. As always, big thank you for tuning in this week and watching the podcast. Of course, our great sponsors are Fast Break Sports, located 3109 South Campbell, your home for all things sports cards and collectibles, and The Pitch Pizza and Pub, located in the Southern Hills Shopping Center off East Sunshine. We're going to talk sunshine, a sunshine sport, because it's a time when all these baseball coaches in high school look at their weather app about 300 times a day. Our guest is Nixa high school baseball coach Logan Hughes. Is that true, Logan? Do you spend more time on your weather app than you do actually coaching at this time of year?
Yeah, that's without question. I've been on there at least 10 times today, looking at not only today, but we traveled to Arkansas tomorrow. So I've been on the Rogers, Arkansas weather app, seeing what the weather is down there. And, at home games, it's a lot more important to look at it because we're still natural grass surface. And so when you're on the road or playing on a turf field, it's not quite as important, but definitely check it multiple times every day.
Just looking for lightning on those artificial turf, right? Make sure there's no threat of lightning. And that is what, a 20-mile, if it's within 20 miles, you got to stop, or what's the rule now?
No, it kind of changes every year, but I think 20 miles we get notifications. I'm pretty certain within 10 is when we have to shut everything down and clear the field.
Well, and you say you're still a grass field. Isn't that big indoor dome they're building behind the football stadium? Is that not for baseball? You're not going to have the first dome in the Ozarks, or is that? Oh, it's an indoor facility for everything, right?
It is a multi-purpose facility for all sports, and as well as JROTC and archery programs and all that. So, we'll be able to utilize it for the entire school district. We will have locker rooms in there for baseball. And offices. Eventually, I think the long term is to build a baseball softball complex over there behind that new facility. So we will have access to that. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we'll see how it goes, but we could potentially play some 7 and maybe 8U Nixa baseball club games in there in the future.
Oh, nice. Because it's 120 yards in length, right? And can you just lay out basically a field and a fence, or how would you do that?
Yeah, I think we would probably put out we have a removable fence we use at our outdoor fields right now, youth fields. We'd probably put that in there, and I think we could probably get 2 fields going back to back.
That's awesome. What's the ready-to-use date that you're hearing now?
I believe it's supposed to be done in July, if I'm not mistaken. End of June, maybe early July is when they're spaying right now.
And there's still talk of your own facility on campus over there in the near future?
Yeah, I think so. I think potentially on we'll see how everything goes, obviously, but I think on the next bond they're talking about building a new complex. We've had this complex, which is now at the junior high. We've had it, for several years, and I think that's the next upgrade to our athletic facilities is new softball, baseball.
Awesome. Well, Logan Hughes is in his 4th season as the head coach of the Nixa Eagles. That's correct, 4th, right? Three full and middle of your 4th now. Of course, a former Branson High School standout, went to North Ark for a couple years. And then,
I spent a year at North Ark and then ended up graduating from University of Missouri at St. Louis.
Yeah, and then stayed on, had a great career at UMSL, and then stayed on and coached there for 2 or 3 seasons, and then to Wayne State in Michigan, and then back to the Ozarks as the Drury, basically associate head coach, recruiting coordinator, hitting coach, kind of all jack of all trades, right?
Yeah, Coach Nasby and I had a great relationship. Won a lot of ball games there together. He's really good at allowing his coaches to coach, and he gave me full reins of the offense, and spent some time coaching the bases. Then got back into the dugout and coached from the dugout, and it was a great opportunity for me to learn and continue to grow in my coaching career, and learned a lot from Coach Nasby and Coach Hagler and Coach Peterson when he was there. Gage Jacobs is still there as the pitching coach. Learned a lot from him. And so take a lot of the stuff I've learned from there and from UMSL and Wayne State with Ryan Kelly up there, and all the coaches, not just baseball, but coaches that I've been able to coach with, coach under, played for. Obviously, as a coach, you play for so many guys and coach with so many guys that you just kind of build your own foundation off of what you've learned from everybody. And so that's what we're doing here. I've got an incredible coaching staff here with 200 and some years of coaching experience.
That's just Hagler.
Well, that's just Hagler. Yeah, you said it, not me. Coach Hagler's been doing it for a long time and still is incredible with how he's able to relate to kids this day and age, 15 to 19-year-olds. And Coach Drayle is on our coaching staff this year, has been coaching a long time. Troy Nimmo has been my, main assistant for 4 years now, was one of my coaches at Branson when I was there, and has an incredible wealth of knowledge about the game. And Steve Lale comes around and hits fungos, now and then. Coach Michael York is on staff doing a great job with our pitchers as well. And then we've got some guys that are coaching our freshmen. Coach Ben Hammett is an incredible man who does a great job with our younger program. And James Payne, who's been coaching the sport for a long time, is helping out with Coach Hammett and also coaches our summer team. So,
92 and 28 now in 4 seasons, including a 5-1 start now. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, with all your greatness, the fact that you are the second best athlete in your own home. Your wife, Janessa.
That always comes up. Yeah, that always seems to come up.
It always will. Former College of the Ozarks basketball legend. Have you found anything yet that you can beat her in?
Well, the fact that I can't name it off the top of my head is usually not a good sign.
Yeah.
I'm solid at ping pong.
Ping pong?
I play a lot more pickleball, so let's go pickleball.
Pickleball?
Like maybe one game. If we play 2 out of 3, she'll figure out my weakness and attack it.
Well, we wanted to throw it out there because if I didn't, it wouldn't be me. So
that's correct.
Yeah, 5-1 start now. You beat Catholic in a slugfest yesterday. Score was 14-9, I think, 14-9 final. Averaging almost 10 runs a game in this 5-1 start. That's not a surprise when you have guys like Wyatt Vincent and Caden Cloud coming back for their senior years, and then Adam McKnight just basically rolling off the basketball floor and starting to hit dingers, over the weekend. So kind of give me an assessment, this 5-1 start, where you feel like your Nixa team's at right now.
Yeah, first off, Courtney Spitz is doing an incredible job at Catholic. They are extremely competitive. He's been dealt a tough hand, has had some major injuries to key players. But he's Coach Spitz. He's the same guy every day. His players play extremely hard for him. They are going to be very, very competitive all year, and it'll be exciting to see what they're doing at the end of the season when those guys get more experience, those young guys. So, we're battling. We're doing some early of the season stuff, making some mistakes early that hopefully as the season goes along and we just get out there and get to play more, we'll clean up some of those things a little bit. Offensively, it has been, I don't want to say a surprise, but a lot of times early on pitchers are ahead of hitters just because of not being able to see live as much. Fortunately for us, we face live guys, starting in January. And so, with the rules allowing us to go 3 hours a week, we start like almost day one going live against our guys. And so that's helping us this time of year because our guys are getting in the box confident and comfortable with facing live pitching. And we've also got a lot of dudes. I mean, we just have a lot of really good baseball players that play in the summertime, play in the fall, and have been doing it for a long time. And now we have a really, really experienced group who has played a lot since they were freshmen. And so, Wyatt's got somewhere around 500 at-bats, in his high school career, and same with Caden Cloud. And a lot of these guys have Jackson Gamble on the mound, Colin Kelly on the mound, have pitched in our rotation since they were sophomores. And so we've got a really, really experienced group playing with some extremely talented sophomores. And then you throw in some juniors, and one of our catchers, Tyler Yonkers, is a junior who's doing a great job. Our other catchers, Rowan Johnson, a sophomore, really talented. What's crazy about right now is that Wyatt Vincent and Adam McKnight, what they're doing at the plate. They literally played Thursday in the third place game of the state championship in basketball. and then the very next day are playing at 10 a.m. on the baseball field. And both of them, Wyatt was 8 for his first 8 getting on base. Adam had like 2 hits. 2 of them were line drives the other way and a home run. He's hit a walk-off home run. Wyatt's got 2 home runs. Like, baseball is really hard. Hitting is really hard. And what those 2 are doing right now, coming off of a basketball season and football, like they played football in the state championship, then they went right into basketball and played basketball till the very last day you could play, and then jumped right in, and it's like they've been doing it for months, and it's extremely impressive. But it just states to their competitiveness, like they're just competing. They're just winners, and they're going out there and they're just saying, you know what, I am better than you. I believe I'm better than you. And I'm just going to go out and play and do what I know I'm capable of doing. And when you get those guys that are doing it, it's very contagious amongst the team. And now everybody gets in the batter's box or comes off the bench and gets in the batter's box and believes that they can do it too. And so it's been really fun to watch those guys. It's been really fun to watch all of our guys step in the box, because you can tell when somebody believes they're going to win, and you can tell when maybe they're questioning it. And every one of our guys right now feels confident in the batter's box, and it's fun to see.
The beauty of having a Nixa Live is that anybody like myself can be hanging around and just go to YouTube and say, oh, Nixa baseball's playing today. Because if you're home, they're on. And I guess most of the road games too, with what Jordan Burns and his crew are doing.
Yeah, they're so awesome. It's amazing what they do for all of our sports. And Aiden Hopkins has been doing it with us for a few years. He travels with us on the road and does our away games, which is so awesome, because there are a lot of families who maybe are from Nixa, but maybe some who are out of town, out of state. And it gives them an opportunity to continue to follow the program and follow their kids or grandkids or friends. And it's really helped grow, Nixa baseball in our baseball community, because people from all over can watch us and support us. And, it's just really awesome what Jordan Burns and his group are doing.
Well, and where I was going with that is I flipped on Monday and, Nixa's home. They're playing Bryant to Arkansas. Watched it through. It's 7-1 in the 6th inning. I walk away for a little bit. Next thing I come back, it's 8-7 Nixa in the 7th. And you talk about the confidence that your team has because you have so many guys that have been playing varsity for so many years. That's the kind of game that really shows up in, and is that, hey, we're down 7-1 and we're still not beat. Yeah.
And it's kind of what we preach to our guys is like, hey, every pitch, we focus on every pitch. What happened last inning, what happened last at bat, what happened last time you were on the mound, it doesn't matter anymore. As long as you learn from it and use that in your next at bat or your next outing on the mound or the next time you're on the bases. And so trying to just help our guys stay in the moment. But again, that takes experience to understand what that really means. And having a very experienced group, they understand like, at the Bryant game, third baseman got a tough hop on their team in that 6th inning, made an error. And that's what started everything. And then it was like a walk, 7 hits later. We got a sophomore, Cameron Miller, comes up in a situation with 2 outs and guys in scoring position. And he's confident he's going to get the job done because he's watched 8 guys in front of him do the exact same thing. And he believes he gets in the box, I'm going to get this done too. And then he gets a base hit to take the lead. And so good hitting, good pitching, good defense is contagious. Just like bad hitting and pitching, it's contagious. But when you have an experienced group, they understand that we can switch and flip that switch at any moment. What we're trying to get to is flip the switch in the 1st inning of the very first pitch and making sure that we understand we're locked in. Because we did it again last night against Catholic. It was kind of back and forth. They took the lead, and then we scored 9 runs in the 6th inning last night. And again, it was just hit, error, walk, hit. Like guys just felt confidence getting in the batter's box. They were going to execute a good at bat, and you can't really focus on getting hits like this. It's too hard. Baseball hitting is too hard. We're trying to get our guys to understand, hey, I'm trying to get on base any way I can get on base, because we have so much team speed that a lot of our guys change the game just because they run so well. that if we can get on base, we feel confident we will find a way to get him in. And Cloud got on first base yesterday, wild pitch, stole third, wild pitch, and he scored. And we literally didn't put a ball in play. And 3 pitches later from first, we scored a run. And so that's what we're trying to get our guys to really focus on, is we can't focus on getting hits. We got to focus on winning this pitch, whether that's taking a ball, fouling a ball off, getting hit, getting a walk, just trying to get to first base so we can put pressure on the defense. And the other thing is, it takes experience. Our guys have done an incredible job of 2-strike hitting right now. It's just a compete mindset. I'm going to fight as hard as I can to win this pitch and get to the next one and make the pitcher pitch another one or another one. And then as a pitcher, you get frustrated because you're like, what do I have to do to get this guy out? And then all of a sudden you get a ball 4 or you get a mistake. And that's what we've been doing, is taking advantage of mistakes.
4 years ago, you'd had a lifetime of college coaching background. What made you make the decision you wanted to go to the high school level? And true or false, knowing that Wyatt Vincent and Caden Cloud were going to be freshmen might have helped in the decision? Because, 4 years later, you've had one of them's going to Kentucky, Cloud, and one of them's going to Missouri State and Vincent. And had some good seniors back that first year, too. I remember Jarrett Nelson and Ryan Retone and others in that group, too. So, but what was the impetus behind your decision to give up the college coaching for the high school level?
Yeah, ultimately, when we first moved back from Michigan, we moved to Nixa. We bought a house in Nixa, knew we wanted to start a family eventually, and wanted to find the right school district for our boys. And this was it. And Nixa was it. So we've been in Nixa since we moved back. And since I was coaching at Drury, we lived in Nixa. And so really this was, if I was going to get into high school coaching, this was the job that I would take. Otherwise, I was very happy at Drury. And being an assistant with Coach Nasby and Gage, really had no plans of leaving. But this was kind of the opportunity that came about, that was an opportunity to become a head coach and try that out and see what it was like. And I knew that all along, building, my coaching up and my resume and learning as much as I have, that was the ultimate goal, was to become a head coach. And so this was that opportunity. And honestly, went through the process of the interview process and all of that, and still wasn't sure, hey, I'm happy at Drury. We had a really good group of seniors coming back at Drury that a lot of them played as freshmen and had no real thought of leaving at all. And it just happened, and honestly, I didn't know a ton about who was returning or who was coming up. Had heard about some guys, but didn't really know a whole lot about kids that were coming back or coming into the program. And so it was one of those things that just, the timing was right. Our boys go to school here. This is home for us. And honestly, it's been a family decision ever since day one. It's better for Janessa and I. It's better for our kids. I get to go to all of their sporting events and don't miss hardly any of that stuff. They are invested in our youth programs. The community has surrounded our family. And so honestly, it's been an incredible decision for our family. And we've been very blessed that we are extremely talented. And and that's kind of was one of the biggest goals from day one, is you look at Webb City and what they've done with football, and everybody talks about their football program. And that's kind of what we wanted to do with our youth baseball program, is if we want to be competitive and we want to continue to build up our youth programs so that our high school team is competitive year after year after year, it starts with your little guys. And, we have 17 youth teams now in our Nixa Baseball Club organization that are playing, from March through July, a lot of them. And so we're playing a lot of baseball, and we have a ton of really good coaches that are coaching our kids and really good men. And so we're not just coaching baseball, we're trying to coach them up as young men. And so, we've been blessed. I've been blessed with incredible coaches, assistant coaches, incredible youth coaches. We've been blessed with a lot of talent. And so you put all of that together, and good things are happening for our program. And we just got to continue to go forward and continue to push forward and never settle for anything. I mean, our goal every year is to compete for a state championship, and it's tough because 6A, 5A, 4A, they're all extremely tough. And the baseball in Southwest Missouri right now is probably the best it's ever been.
Yeah, we'll get into preview that here in a little bit. And of course, Final Four trip 2 years ago goes down to the wire with Liberty North in the state semifinals. You're a pitch or a throw two away from winning a state champion or playing for a state championship, and then district title game appearances with losses to really good teams in those, which indicates just how tough it is to even get out of a district. But one thing about your background, I think, makes you more equipped to answer this area of questions is coming from the college scene now. It makes it look like you knew the portal and NIL was coming and like, I'm out of here. That was good timing on your part, because it sounds like it's a mess. But, you've got to go into Division I in Vincent and Cloud, and you've got guys like Gamble and Kelly going to Missouri Southern and Maryville for Division II. With what's happening with the portal at Division I and Division II and everything else, is your job harder now as a high school coach to get your guys placed in places because those places are looking for transfers from maybe a level above them? And how much does it help that you can kind of, from your years of experience and knowing what you were looking for at Drury and Wayne State, help these guys kind of figure out where maybe they need to get started college-wise if they want to play?
Yeah, absolutely. The dynamic has changed a lot with college athletics, and we have to adjust. We have to adapt. Like, it is what it is, and that's the direction it's going, and it's probably going to continue to go, which makes it a lot tougher for high school kids. And, the really, really good ones, the elite ones, the top level ones are still going to get those opportunities to go there. But ultimately, in order for them to stay, in order for Caden Cloud, Wyatt Vincent, some of these guys to stay and be able to play at those levels, they're going to have to bridge that gap, not just between themselves and other 18 and 19-year-olds. They're going to have to find a way to be better than 24-year-olds who are now the guys that people are getting in the portal. And a lot of these D1 transfers, D2 transfers who are getting fifth years consistently, they're gonna have to bridge that gap somehow. And so you can't, again, emphasize enough. Experience is huge. And I get it. Like, you're at a college and there's a kid leaving a school who has 300 college at bats. And then there's a high school kid that we could take who doesn't have any at bats. That's an obvious decision. I want the guy who's played, who has 300 at bats. That's an easy answer. And so for these guys to get on the field or stay at these programs they're going, they have to find a way to bridge that gap. And what Caden Cloud and Wyatt Vincent and, some of these guys that are going, even Jackson Gamble, Colin Kelly, they have changed their bodies. And they are now, since day one, we have the weight room has been a huge point of emphasis for us because that's what it is at college. And when you look at high school kids compared to college kids compared to big D1 kids or college kids to professionals, every step of the way they get bigger and stronger and faster. And so we have to bridge that gap as quickly as we can at the high school level. And so if you look at Caden Cloud and Wyatt Vincent, they have done that. They have changed their bodies. They are stronger. They are bigger. They are hitting the ball harder. They are throwing faster. They're running faster. They're going to have to do those things at a more elite level in order to stay at Kentucky or play at Kentucky or Missouri State, in order for Gamble to pitch and get on the field early at Missouri Southern and Colin Kelly at Maryville. They have to do those things that are going to set themselves apart from these kids that have several hundred at bats or innings pitched at the college level. And so, I've always been a guy that I want our kids, I want to play. Like I went JUCO, I went to Arkansas, and then I ended up at UMSL. I wanted to play. I wanted to be on the field. I wanted to play. I wanted an opportunity to compete at a high level. And so that's kind of what I'm taking the approach with our guys is like, I want you guys will enjoy going somewhere and playing. And so look at what that looks like for you individually. Where do you feel like you fit? And if you think you're a Kentucky guy, go watch Kentucky play. Go look at their kids. See what they're doing. See where they're playing. See where they're playing in the summertime. If you think you're a Missouri Southern kid, go watch Missouri Southern play. Go to their camps. Get in front of their coaches and see what they're looking at in recruiting wise. And we have several kids this year going. We have 13 seniors. We have a couple going to Evangel. We have some going junior college. We have some going to Missouri Southern. Some are looking at C of O. Like, we have kids at all levels now. And I think that's the key, is go somewhere that you have confidence you're going to be able to play. I don't want our kids getting into that. I go here, then I don't play, so I leave. And then I go there and I don't play, so I leave. And I want them to have a really good college experience. I want them to build relationships. I'm a huge relationships guy. So I want them to build relationships with their coaches at the next level and their teammates at the next level, so that those are their best friends for forever, for the next 25 years. And you get that when you stay somewhere for 2, 3, 4 years. So my approach with our guys is like, let's get you in front of colleges that you feel like you want to go to or you belong. And let's see if that's true. And if not, that's okay. Let's get you in front of some of these other schools. And sometimes it's timing too, right? Sometimes somebody doesn't need a shortstop. Maybe they need arms. They don't have any money left for shortstops. So sometimes it's all about timing too, and not necessarily about you. It's just about what their needs are. And so we're just trying to get our guys out in front of as many coaches as we can. We're trying to develop our guys. The programs that we're using are all the programs that we used at the college level, and that a lot of my coaches' contacts at the college level, D1, D2 levels, are using. So we're trying to get our guys used to these throwing programs, hitting programs, weight room programs, so that when they do go to these colleges, they're used to that. And they understand this is what's expected of you if you go to Kentucky. This is what's expected of you when you go to Missouri Southern. Yes, you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go lift 3, 4, 5 times a week. So we're trying to get our guys to understand what that looks like at the next level and approach that with our program.
Saw where recently, and I don't know where it's gone since, but a movement in the courtrooms to make junior college seasons not count for NCAA schools. So a kid could go to JUCO and play 2 years and have a fresh 4 or 5 years at a college level.
It's crazy.
What Division I or Division II? What would that do to recruiting, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's such a hard one because it's good for the college game. It's good for some of these kids who, maybe want to think they're D1. And I get it, because now out of high school, I believe I'm a D1 guy, but they're getting portal guys. So let's go somewhere and play for free for a year or two. Give me some at-bats, give me some experience, and then maybe get an opportunity. On the flip side, it's also prolonging kids from moving on after baseball, because now they're staying in college, or they're going to college till they're 24, 25, maybe 26. And then their career's over, and now they're, not starting out in the real world until they're 26 or 27. And maybe they're financially behind a little bit, or real world job experience behind a little bit. So it's kind of a two-headed monster. I think it's good and bad. I think it's good for colleges. I think it's good for the competitiveness of college baseball, because the age of the baseball player is getting older in college, which more experience, usually better players. And so that's good for college baseball. It's also making it tougher for high school kids. But it is what it is. So we got to do our best to get our kids to compete at the highest possible level that each kid can, and they're all at different levels, and then get them ready for that next opportunity.
You mentioned headed south to Rogers, Arkansas for tournament later this week, Thursday through Saturday. Then kind of looking ahead, you've got Rogersville, Webb City, and Republic, and then later on Willard and Kickapoo and Ozark. And it's the fun season coming up when you get to play those people. How does the area look this year? Who are some teams that you are basically banking on to be there in the end that you'll play. I know Glendale's got guys back from last year. They lost some good ones, but still have some good ones there. Kind of give me set the scene for the area and what high school baseball looks like this year.
Yeah, there are no easy games on our schedule. We are going to have to show up every single day and play our best baseball. That's just the way it is around Southwest Missouri right now. We played Catholic last night, and they were extremely competitive. Like, they're coming out there to beat us, and we have to make sure that we show up every day. And that's what we're learning. Like, every day is a new opportunity, a new day. And we have to bring our best. There are no off days when you step on the field. Otherwise, you will get beat. And so, we do. We have 4 really good games with a team from Oklahoma and 3 Arkansas schools. We're going to play Fayetteville, who's the number 1 team in all of Arkansas right now. Springdale Harbor is extremely good every single year. We play them again. We're going to play later in the year St. Thomas Aquinas from Kansas, who's the best team in Kansas right now. And then our conference in our district, Webb City, Republic, Willard, Ozark is better. Neosho has 2 extremely good arms. Our district is going to be really, really tough. And we have to learn now that every single day is important. And the first game of districts is extremely important. And if we don't bring it, whoever we play throws their best arm at us and we have an off day, we're done. And we have to make sure that we learn that right now, that every day, every game we play, we have to bring our best. And so that's why we play 36 games, so that we can figure that out before districts. And yeah, we got some good ones coming up. Webb City is going to be tough. They're always tough, especially at their place. Republic is playing really well. They lost a lot of guys, but they are a confident group. Coach Plotner is a great coach. He has them ready to play every game. It's becoming one of our bigger rivals. And so we play them next week. That's going to be a tough game. Yeah, and then Willard, Ozark, Glendale, every game that we play this year. Lebanon is really good. They're in our conference now. Every game we play is going to be a tough game. And so that's why we play Bryant, Arkansas, and Blue Springs South, and Rogers, Arkansas, who's really, really good. And all of these good teams, so that we learn every day, doesn't matter who we play, we better bring it. And we're trying to focus on us and being the best that we can be. We feel confident if we do that, we play our best, we feel confident we will have an opportunity to win every single game that we play this year. And so we're trying to focus on us and just putting the best version of us out there every day.
And that's what I admire about our coaches in this area, Scott McGee, and, Plotner, everybody. You're playing so many good people during the regular season that by the time you get to the Final Four, there's nothing that you will see that you've probably not already seen in terms of quality, correct?
Yep, that's absolutely correct. And that's and every team has their different thing. Some teams maybe have 2 or 3 really, really good pitchers. Okay, like today we're going to have to pitch really good, play defense, execute maybe small ball stuff, getting runners over, sac fly, safety squeezes, whatever, to score 1 or 2 runs. And then there's going to be days when it's more of an offensive team. All right, well, we're going to have to score 13 runs like last night. And so we're learning. We're trying to find as many ways as we can to win baseball games. So that's it. Maybe the wind's blowing in 60 miles an hour. We can't hit home runs that day. Well, then we better hit the ball on the ground and put pressure on people with our speed. We better be able to get some bunts down and execute situational hitting and play great defense and pitch on that day. So the more well-rounded we can become early in the year, throughout the year, and winning as many possible ways as we can, the better likelihood we have of continuing on in the postseason.
You got to win the mamas over. You know that from years, and especially more so now in high school. Glad to see. I think you finally stayed off prom night, right? Didn't you? With it? Yeah.
It only took 4 years to not schedule a game.
I figured that one out.
Prom. Yeah, especially out of the area. I think we've been in Columbia twice, maybe Kansas City once. We finally figured it out. 4 years.
Did a mom pull you aside and say, "Hey, Coach Hughes, no, this is not the way this works," right?
No, we've been very fortunate. We have incredible parents, very supportive parents. They understand baseball season, and we have had, we've gotten back and they've maybe missed some pictures, but gotten pictures later or the day before. But yeah, we finally figured that out 4 years into it.
Well, where I was going with that is, with youth baseball now, it's such a fine line because with summer ball and travel ball, and I know that part of the reason you do what you do by having Nixa youth baseball is you're able to kind of control the dynamic of how long are we going to play, how much are we going to play. Are you a big believer in still making it as limited as enough to make it a summer for the kids, or what's your approach to how much is too much baseball and in the off or in the summer season?
Yeah, we kind of leave a lot of that up to each team. Like we have some teams that are playing 10 tournaments from March through July. As they get older, obviously they're playing in a little bit more tournaments. But we kind of leave that up to each team and each coach, with their parent group saying, hey, yeah, we're good with playing 6 tournaments. Maybe a younger team is like 4 is probably good, plus the league. Yeah, that's 30 games is pretty good for us. Because I want these kids to be kids. I want them to ride their bikes. I want them to go on vacation. I want them to play basketball and football and soccer and hunt and do all these things. I want them to enjoy being a kid. And I also want them to get better at baseball. And so, we're offering them opportunities on camps and clinics and different things. And now with DBAT opening in Nixa, there's a great opportunity for kids to continue to get work in. And so the resources are there for them to use, and they can use them as much as they want or as little as they want. And so we're just trying to do a good job with our coaches, like, hey, if you put these dates out there, these are the weekends. See how many of your families want to play in. If that's too many, bump it back a week or 2. If it's not, then play as much as you guys are willing to play. And so, I think there's a fine line, but when you make it fun, when you make it interesting, when you show the progression of how they're getting better, and by playing, they're getting better, they usually are more invested in, that's fine. 8 tournaments is okay for us.
Well, football gets to the state championship game. Brock Blansett takes it with Coach Perry. Brock Blansett takes basketball to the Final Four. I mean, your male coaches there putting a little pressure on to get you back to, I guess, what's it called? Ozark Mountain Complex now. It used to be US Ballpark, but the Final Four gets back where it could be a home game for Nixa if you can get there. But long road to hoe before that, right? Well,
no doubt. And that just speaks to our entire athletic department because our women's basketball team had a really good year. Volleyball team had a great year. All of our sports are extremely competitive. And we have an incredible football coach, John Perry, and all of his assistants. Coach Blansett, tell you how good of a coach he is. He's on my baseball staff. So, we have incredible coaches. We have incredible support in our entire school district of our athletic programs. That with our community support is why we are so successful at all of our sports. The other thing is Wyatt Vincent and Adam McKnight, Caden Cloud, a lot of our best players at baseball play basketball and play football. And, that's why we're really good at multiple sports, because our best athletes are playing multiple sports. And how awesome would it be if Wyatt Vincent and Adam McKnight go to a Final Four in all 3 sports? Well, that'd be pretty incredible. And there's pressure every time we take the field. There's pressure. Like it's Nixa now, and we're 6A, and we've been successful. But the goal never changes. Our goal since I came here was to compete and win a state title every single year. And when we don't meet that, we're disappointed, because that is our goal every single year. So extremely proud of football, extremely proud of basketball. But our goal has never changed, and that is to get to Ozark Mountain Sports Complex, compete for a state championship, and win it every single year. And we're going to do everything we can as a coaching staff and as a team and as a community to get back to that point.
Very good. Well, we hope you turn it into a home game this June. Best of luck to you. It'll be a very competitive spring. Yep. Keep an eye on that weather app, okay?
Absolutely, Scott. I always appreciate all you do for sports, for myself, for our programs and every program around the area. So thank you again.
Thank you, Logan. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds great.
You bet. Logan Hughes, the head baseball coach at Nixa High School. And of course, big season ahead for the Eagles, off to the 5-1 start. Big weekend coming up with games, as he mentioned, against some powers down in Arkansas. And then the fun begins with the gauntlet of the Rogersville and Willard and Kickapoo and Ozark and Republic and Webb City and Glendale and all of them. It's great to live here in the Ozarks and watch high school baseball because we got some dandy teams there. So big thank you to our sponsors, Fast Break Sports, 3109 South Campbell. Again, your home for all things sports cards and collectibles, memorabilia. You need to doctor up that man cave area or NCAA tournament. You need to boast about your team doing well. They've got the goods there at Fast Break Sports. And the Pitch Pizza and Pub. Great place to go have lunch or dinner. They got TVs everywhere so you can catch the NCAA tournament games. Major League Baseball season kicks off. Officially, the domestic season, as they're saying now, kicks off with games this Thursday and on through the weekend. Royals looking like they may have a special group. Be fun to watch them. Cardinals in their self-proclaimed rebuild mode this year as they kind of play a lot of the young guys. But a great place to catch all that is the Pitch Pizza and Pub. Great wings, great pizza, pasta. All their dishes are great there at the Pitch. Go give them a try. And we always appreciate their sponsorship. Big thanks to them for being supporters of around the Ozark sports scene. That's going to do it. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.